Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. Check this out. On this podcast, we're going to talk sports. Not current sports, but sports nonetheless. This is a special episode because on this podcast, I've got the brothers from the Sports Life Talk podcast. My man KT and my boy BJones. I'm a big fan of their podcast. These guys are on every Wednesday night live on YouTube. So make sure that you check them out Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On this podcast, we're going to talk about some of our favorite sports moments. And we're going to get in a little GOAT talk. So you don't want to miss it. So after the break, we will be on here talking about sports with the brothers from the Sports Life Talk podcast. So sit tight. We'll be back in just a second. As I mentioned in the intro, we are talking sports. And man, I'm going to be honest. I got two of the best sports people that you will want to listen to. Big fan of these guys, man. Their show, it comes on every week. You can catch them on YouTube. It's called Sports Life Talk. Gotta welcome in the brothers Sports Life Talk. First up, the mouth of the South, my man BJones. BJones, what up, man?
Yeah, why you lying to your fans, man? You said these brothers are the best at sports talk, and you really was just talking about me, man. Cam don't know nothing, man.
So modest.
Lying to the fans. My apologies out there, 12 Nation.
Oh, man, no doubt. Hey, and his partner in crime, my man KT, the coach. KT, what's good, baby?
Man, what's good? I got to address my tag team partner, though, right. Man. You can't go to another show and trash your brother like that.
My bad, man. You know I ain't got no home training.
No,
you know what I'm saying? My bad.
Where you from? The mud. That's how y'all act. No home training.
Kev, you my PIC, man. I love you, bro. See, on in front of 12 Nation, I'm gonna give you your props. I love you, man.
No
I don't
doubt.
love you. Let's go, Kyle.
No doubt. Well, this really has been, a long time coming. If you follow the podcast, if you follow me, you know that I did appear on these guys' podcast. It was late last year. And I had a ball. I mean, it was just good, just, getting on there and talking, chopping it up with sports with them. Again, they know their sports. So I had to, return the favor and have these brothers on. And trust me, this will not be the last time they'll be on. So let's get right to it, man. I've got some questions, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say, to answer these questions. So, KT, you're up first.
Oh, man.
All
right.
Ladies first. Let's go.
What team or person had the biggest upset that you've seen? What team or person, if you want to do an individual sport, had the biggest sports upset that you've seen?
The biggest sports upset that I've seen, man. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that question coming, so you're gonna have to give me a second.
Go ahead.
Sports upset.
If you need some time, if you need some time, I'll give you mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
This was, I want to say, it was 1985.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm going way back. NCAA tournament. The Villanova Wildcats beat the Georgetown Hoyas. And not only did they win, but they were like this is when Georgetown had Patrick Ewing, the late great John Thompson as their head coach.
Yeah.
I think they were like a 20-point underdog or something like that. And what I remember about that game is that Villanova shot I think it was 83% from the floor. Like, they literally didn't miss any shots all game long. I mean, we three of us, we watch basketball. it's great if you can shoot 60% from the floor or 50% from the floor.
Right,
but to shoot 80-something% from the floor, I mean,
that's unreal.
And I remember watching them, and I'm not even a Hoyas fan, but I wanted to see Georgetown win because, and I've admitted it on this podcast before, I thought Georgetown was an HBCU because they had a black head coach and they had all black players. So I mean,
rest is John Thompson,
no doubt.
But Kyle, real talk, man. I came up like John Thompson was my first kind of visualization of seeing an African-American male leading a group of men on national television. Like we didn't have that many African coaches, and John Thompson was like, he was like the coach on the block. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a brother that's coaching this school, this prestigious school. Because don't get me wrong, Georgetown ain't no academic chumps.
Nope, not at all.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it on the mental to get into Georgetown. And so that was huge. I like that. The first HBCU, Georgetown.
Yes.
Not the culture, they were successful. We saw black young men being successful.
All day long.
I got mine.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson in 1990.
Kevin, I'm gonna tell you something, Kevin. This is why me and you we partners in crime, brother. I just wrote that down on a piece of. I had a backup. I knew you was gonna steal mine, so I came up with a backup. But you go ahead. I digress. Tell us about Buster Douglas and how that made you feel.
Because to this day, I still believe that Mike Tyson took a dive. It is no Buster Douglas should have beat this man. This dude is going in there, kicking people's butts in like 20, 30 seconds. And then this dude shows up. You know what I'm saying? I think Tyson took a dive on that, to be honest with
you. You look at go back and watch the tape, Kill. He was looking for that mouthpiece on that mat. There wasn't no dive. That was a I don't know if I can use explicit words on Kyle's show.
But I mean, I know what you're saying.
Oh yeah, you can cuss. We grown.
Okay. Yeah, that was an ass whoop.
Yeah, he got his ass whooped. Bad too, by the way.
Took two right to the face. Black.
No doubt. No doubt. Sleep. Yeah, so what you got, BJones?
Man, I'm gonna go with your fans don't know me, but I'm a true blue diehard college football fan. I love football in general, but college football is like my passion, my baby. And I'm going to go upset. I believe it was 2004. Hopefully your fans can correct me if I'm wrong. 2004, 2005 is somewhere in that era. Appalachian State went into the Big House and defeated Michigan.
Yes. I remember watching that live. That game was crazy.
That was a nut. I mean, that was just mess. Everything from beginning to end. And what's crazy about that game was that like Michigan had like Chad Henne at the quarterback. They had Mike Hart at running back. And we talking about guys who were like preseason All-Americans. If my memory serves me correct, I believe Michigan was the number 4 team in the nation at the time. It was crazy.
Wow. But didn't they get beat by on the block field goal? Was that the game?
That was the game winner.
The block field goal. Yep. That's right. It was the game winner.
Michigan was lining up for a field goal attempt to win the game, and Appalachian State blocked the field goal attempt and won the game.
You know what? People don't really remember that game because as history is revision, it turned out that Michigan team really sucked. Just being honest with you.
They did.
Hey, but to be honest, what Michigan team hadn't sucked lately? Let's just keep it real.
Ooh. Ouch. Well, I mean, especially here recently, man. I mean, you got a good point. They have underachieved, especially in the Harbaugh era. So I'm feeling you on that.
He's making his name alone in Michigan right now. And didn't they just sign him to a contract, an extension?
Yeah, that didn't really make a lot of sense to me, but hey. I mean, it is what it is.
Now, Kyle, I got to do this. I don't know why I love messing with my boy Kev. But I also remember LSU. I also remember LSU defeating Florida when Florida had Danny Werfel as the quarterback.
Yes.
Heisman quarterback, and they thought they were going to come into LSU and win them, and them Bayou Bengals pulled off the biggest upset against number 1 Florida. You remember that, Kevin?
Kyle, I need you to take control of your show so we can. You're doing a little too much for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how these brothers get down for real. This is how they get down every Wednesday on YouTube. Make sure that you check out Sports Life Talk on YouTube.
Don't forget Wednesdays at 8 p.m.
Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Live. You can catch them on the live stream and subscribe to their site.
Ooh, I like you, Kyle. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, you gotta, you always got to get the plugs. Just to piggyback on the Georgetown Villanova game, Villanova won. The score was 66-64, right? And they did shoot 82% from the floor. And again, Georgetown, they came in with guys like Patrick Ewing, David Wingate, Michael Jackson, and Reggie Williams. And so, like, they had, I think those four guys actually went to the pros. Then one other thing that I remember about this game was just how locked in Villanova point guard Gary McLean was. And Gary McLean, okay, so well, it's a pretty known fact, but I'm going to drop a gem on it before we move to the next topic. Gary McLean, so you guys know how, at least back in the day, when you won a title, you go visit the White House, right?
Yes.
So
okay,
they go to the White House, and he later admits this in an not ESPN, Sports Illustrated article. Gary McLean admitted that when he went to the White House with his team, he was high off cocaine.
Wow.
He said they stood there and were being praised by then President Ronald Reagan. He said the only thing he could do was stare at the back of Reagan's head because he was out of it. He said he did about 6 or 7 lines of cocaine before they hit the White House. He said he was high out of his mind.
Straight booger sugar.
Well, we do know that, Reagan brought it to our neighborhoods too.
It is what exactly.
Yeah. Let's keep it real.
Exactly. So yeah, Gary McLean, and it's funny because if you go look at YouTube or whatever like that, and you look at them at the press conference, he literally is standing there staring at Reagan's head. He's not moving. He's not doing. And he also mentioned in the article how parent was and everything. He thought the Secret Service were out to get him and all kind of stuff. Like he started tripping like before they left the White House, but nobody noticed that he was high off cocaine. He said, but he was gone off that cocaine.
Man, this is crazy, Kyle, that you brought this game up because I'm sitting there just looking at it, and everything about this matchup was historic. This is such an iconic game that I never got the opportunity to watch it, and I'm going to, as soon as we log off, I'm going to go jump on YouTube and see if I can catch this whole game. Not only was this game balanced beginning to end, we're talking about a 2-point deficit, but the game was held at Rupp Arena, which is a legendary college arena. The people who called the game was Brett Musburger and Billy Packer. Legends. Just everything about this stage was just phenomenal, man. That's nuts.
Yeah, I know, man. I remember watching it live, and it was just, and again, it was one of those situations where Georgetown was the overall favorite. Nobody picked Villanova. Some people picked the game to be close, but nobody thought that Villanova could win this game, and for them to, pull it out and have that kind of upset was crazy.
Matter of fact, that Georgetown team was 34-1 going into that game.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I think they had beaten Villanova a couple of times that year. Go ahead, KT.
The number 16 seed that beat Virginia not too long ago.
Good question.
I don't know why I want to say Southern University. I think HBCU beat them. I'm gonna look that up. That's a good one. I know one of them HBCUs. You know what? Southern beat Georgia Tech, but Georgia was number 2 seed.
Yeah, I remember that. It was, I can't, the name of that school is on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, that was a huge upset as well. And I'll start with BJones on this one. What moment in sports, of all the moments that you've seen, that you wish you could have attended live? And it doesn't necessarily have to be, something that happened in your, since you've been here on Earth. It could have been like, if you say the Thriller Manila, whenever. What one sports moment that you wish you could have attended live, and why?
Well, okay, so I'm gonna give you 2 answers on this one, Kyle, because the first one is not fair to your fans. I'm a diehard LSU fan. If I could have been a part of that 2019 championship in New Orleans, watching the greatest college team to ever play, if I could have been able to witness that, I think it would have been absolutely bucket list. But what a lot of people don't know about me, especially our fans of the show, and I guess they may have caught on to it by now, I'm like a big time nut. And if I could have been Ooh, I could pick probably 10 matches right now that I would have loved to have been a part of, but I'm gonna narrow it down to 2. It would have been Sugar Shane Mosley when he swept the last 7 rounds against Oscar De La Hoya in the Forum, and then the other probably been Floyd Mayweather when he fought against Canelo Alvarez. Those fights had so much electricity surrounding them. They were just huge. I mean, so those events had just been in the building and just, touched the hem of the garment. It just felt that energy. It would have been absolutely nuts, man.
No doubt. What about you, KT?
Well, BJones is going to be surprised. But I'm going to go boxing, too. I would have loved to see Muhammad Ali grill. I would have loved to see him fight George Foreman.
Ooh, wow.
And one of the reasons is everybody knew that Foreman had the power, so Muhammad Ali had to use his boxing skills and his mental to beat this guy. He beat him up top. Hey, I'm going to let you throw all these haymakers you want, and guess what? When you get tired, I'm whooping that ass, and that's exactly what.
Oh, man, that is crazy. You know what? That people, I guess, especially because we're a little bit older, we're a little bit more seasoned probably than a lot of people that's listening. The 3 of us remember a time when boxing was the shit. Like boxing was
really boxing when
it was culture.
Like 6-7 fights a year. Not this. I'm gonna fight once a year.
Well, you know the difference. 12 Kyle. Is that back then boxing used to almost be free. It was HBO. Remember back when HBO had control? Now you got to pay $79, $99, $90 to fight, and that's us as black folks. We ain't gonna pay. We ain't gonna pay that type of money for no fight.
Yeah, we gonna go to somebody's
That's
house.
the problem. Yeah, everybody going. But HBO was you could just go home on a Friday night. The street lights come on. You was heading home to watch the Tyson fight, and that's just how it worked out. So
no doubt. Yeah, you're right. I can even go back a little bit further, man. I remember when the major fights would come on ABC on Saturday afternoons. So like you would catch an Ali fight or Sugar Ray Leonard fight on ABC. There was no such thing as pay-per-view. If you wanted to pay, you had to go see it live. But other than that, you could see it on TV and everything like that on national TV. It wasn't on any type of cable, anything. Those are the good old days, man. I remember those days. Sports moment I wish I could have seen live. Damn, that's tough. It's so many. I would
when he took his last shot.
Yeah, the slam dunk contest with Michael Jordan and Dominique. That probably has been crazy.
Yeah, man. I would probably say I'd probably go back to that one. Like you said, Jordan's last game. Last game as a Bull, which I honestly thought should have probably been his last game, period. He probably should have stayed retired, but that game and just the ebb and flow of that game was just crazy. Yeah, I definitely say that. That's definitely would have wanted to attend live. Let's see, KT, I'm going to come back to you. When we talk about sports, what was the most touching moment that you've seen in sports? It didn't necessarily have to have made you cry, but, might have kind of pulled on the heartstrings. You might have, Onion might have appeared in the room when you were watching this. Most touching moment in sports that you remember or that that you've actually seen.
Okay, one that kind of sticks out. You remember it was the Olympics, and I want to say the guy tore his hamstring. Okay. And he was on the ground, and his goal was to finish that race, but he couldn't do it by himself. So his dad came from the stands. Do y'all remember that one? His dad got him. Security tried to stop his dad from going. He's like, nah, that's my boy. I'm going out there. And they finished that race. So if I had to go with one, that's the one I'm going to go with.
Okay. In the Olympics, no doubt.
Kev, man, we synchronization, bro. I guess that's why we do one of the dopest podcasts on this side of the Mississippi.
Hey, Joe, that's why we're the Dudley Boys of podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Shaq and Kobe, baby. Let's go. No, but I'm gonna give your fans a little bit of something different. I'm gonna take it away from the Olympics because I could go through a couple of Olympic moments, but I'm gonna take them back to the gridiron, right? And it was this kid, and I don't know why I can't think of the life of me. He was a football player, and he went blind. And a few years ago, USC USC actually, it was close to the end of the game. USC had secured the game, but they let a blind kid fully pad come out there. He snapped the ball.
What's his name?
Jake Olsen. That's it. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Jake Olsen snapped the ball in the real game, and I mean, the other team, they eased up a little bit, but they gave him the moment. They treated it as if it was a real game, and he was able to say, and I mean, the snap was picture perfect. What? They catched their point, and at that point in time, I kind of got a little bit of my faith back in humanity. That was a big moment for me. I was like, you know, we can stop and we can celebrate little things like this. But there was also a kid in high school, and I never knew his name, but he was an autistic kid. He dropped 6 3-pointers in the last 2 minutes of a high school game. He was a senior. That moment, just watching it on IG, I was like, oh man, that's awesome. So those types of moments do bring me to tears, man.
Oh, no doubt, man. I remember. It wasn't until you said his name. I remember that kid, the long snapper at USC, and you're right. He's blind, like couldn't see, and he made a picture perfect long snap for them to kick the extra point. And that was definitely a feel good story. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was like the lead story on SportsCenter that night. And like when the game was over, like they celebrated and picked him up and carried him off the field and everything. It was one of those.
It was crazy.
Great feel good moments.
If you remember, they did a special on him before he went to USC. He's been a lifelong fan, and the fact that he was able to get a scholarship and actually go and do that, hats off to USC.
No doubt.
Yeah, I believe that was Pete Carroll's decision too. I believe Pete Carroll was the man behind that. So I gotta give him a rose for that.
No doubt. I need Pete Carroll to go ahead and ship Russell Wilson.
To the New Orleans Saints. That's right.
That's not
Russell Wilson.
That's not Russell Wilson.
Dak, I love you, Dak, but get Russell Wilson. He's bringing Sierra. So hey,
y'all know Russell Wilson ain't going nowhere. That's not gonna happen. I mean, you know what? We have a lot of time before they actually have to make a move, but I would be surprised and borderline shocked if Russell Wilson gets traded. You never know. And like one of my boys pointed out to me today, he said, he was like, you know, Russell wants to stay in Seattle. He's like, but you know who's making that move behind the scene? Sierra. Sierra's like, baby, I want out of here. And you know, when wifey says she's ready to leave, it's time to leave.
He had the choice.
Let's be real. We've seen his wife.
Yes.
If she wants to go to Alaska, guess what? I'm buying an extra jacket. We out. That's a bad one.
You know it. My most touching moment, it's been a few. And you know, people that know me, y'all know I'm a thug, but the one that pulls at my heartstrings, man, it, like you said, an Olympic moment was for me in 1996. My favorite athlete of all time, Muhammad Ali, lighting the torch in the 96 games here in Atlanta.
Wow.
And you know, he was shaking because he had Parkinson's disease, and it was different for me because I guess I saw Ali was the first athlete that I can remember, you know, as far back as I can remember. So, and he was so charismatic and so, you know, boastful and so intelligent. He was so many things. And by the time, you know, Parkinson's had robbed him of, you know, so much of what he had in his motor skills, for him to still be able to get up there and do that and still be full cognizant of what's going on was amazing to me, man. And just me seeing him there, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I said I was watching it and one tear came and then another tear came and then I tried to like walk out the room and I couldn't. By the time I left the room, man, snot nose crying. I was just, because that's my guy. So
Kyle, I hope you can edit this out, man. I got to give you a different perspective. I actually got in trouble at that exact same moment. So, and like you, I too have memory from Muhammad Ali, but I was reprimanded, and I want to give the I guess you call it the peek behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I was only about 12 years old at the time.
Okay.
But I might have been a little bit older. I might have been 12, 14,
but
something
you were old
like
enough
that.
to know better.
I was old enough to know better, boy. He was up there shaking. I made the joke out. My grandfather jumped on me. I said, man, he look like he about to burn the damn stadium down if he make one false move. And oh my goodness, I got sent out the room.
You lucky
I didn't
you didn't
even
get your ass whooped.
I almost did. I almost did. Thank God my grandfather was a deacon.
Oh man, and you know
But
what's
the one
you know
thing-
why? Because Ali
Yes.
resonates so. I'm sorry, KT. What'd you say?
The one thing I will say about him is people loved him when he couldn't speak anymore. That's when
true.
they started loving him.
This is true.
When he spoke the truth, they didn't want to hear it. But when he can't anymore, oh, we love you now.
This is true. And, you know, I think, you know, to your point, KT, it was, you know, a lot of people were like that as far as Ali. But, you know, when Ali was in his prime, I mean, and like I said, BJones, I'll cut you some slack. Or, you know, the people in that room and your grandfather probably wanted to cut you some slack. But for them, Ali was their, you know, Malcolm X. He was their Dr. King. He was their Jordan. He was everything, you know, and we haven't seen that type of, I mean, again, a guy who was in his prime, you know, walked away from his prime, you know, because he didn't like what the government was doing and he wasn't going to serve in Vietnam, you know, and was stripped of his title, his dignity, and he still was who he was. And, you know, so for your grandfather, that guy was, you know, no, it wasn't gonna be no jokes. Your grandfather wasn't gonna let you get that off.
Nah, I wasn't able to get it off, but you know, I was trying to be a clown. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of Muhammad Ali's biggest fans, man. I was just trying to get a laugh. But that whole Olympics in Atlanta was huge, though, man.
Yeah, it was. It really was memorable for so many reasons. All right, BJones,
Let's go.
what was the most devastating loss that your team has experienced? Any of your teams, the most devastating loss any of your teams, college, pro, whatever.
Man, your fans gonna get tired of me being a homer, but I'm the mouth of the South. I am from Louisiana, the Louisianimal, and the Minneapolis Miracle had tears coming down, man. It broke me. It broke me down all the way. Seeing Stephon Diggs catch that ball as time expired, it was. I mean, it was truly devastating, man. For all the wins, and like we haven't been able to get back there since. So I honestly still hadn't gotten over it. I'm still a little emotional, just right now. Hold on, 12 Nation. I need a second. Hold on.
Man, listen. I don't think people understand how hard it is for that play to happen. Like, you can run that play 100 times, might score on it once. It literally, like you said, BJones, it literally was a miracle.
And what people also don't understand is, and I'm pretty sure people out there listening to this, they probably get the fact that in Louisiana, we don't really have much, man. You know, we the worst at education, we the worst economy. I mean, so sports is life. I mean, that's the heartbeat of what we do in Louisiana, and it meant so much. I mean, like, just to get back to that moment and to get another New Orleans Saints team back to the Super Bowl. I mean, it was electricity. And so for it to be, you know, to be stole just like that. And then don't even get me started on the following year with the playoffs, with the no call on the pass interference. So right. I mean, we just took some lumps. We've took some hard lumps over the last couple of years.
No doubt. Yeah, it's been tough for Saints fans all across the board. KT, what about you? Most devastating loss that any of your teams have experienced?
I can give you two, but I'm going to give you the one that really hurt. And I'm just going to say 3 words. Dez caught it. Everybody know, if you watch that game, he talked about, did the ball ever hit the ground? No, he's just so athletic that he tried to cuff it and stretch the ball out to score. And the fact that the NFL and then refs want to say, 3-4 years later, oh, yeah, he caught it. Okay, so can we go back and replay that? Just go ahead and say, hey, that was not a catch.
Right.
And another one is the Mavericks when we played against the Miami Heat. Finals. When we were up 2-0, I think we were up like 10 or 12 with maybe, 10 minutes left.
And then the ref went off.
No. The refs.
D-Wade did go off. Come on, KT.
Wait, no, listen. Okay, Cal. If one individual shoots 96 free throws and the team shoots 93 total, how are you in? How are you going to win that game? Now, I get that Wade was aggressive, but sometimes guys would just look at him. They were like, you know what? You looked at him wrong. Go to the line and shoot 2.
Okay, KT. I'm gonna shoot you some bail a little bit.
No, don't cut him no slack. That's horrible.
But you know what? But hold up, BJones. But here's the thing, though, KT. Yeah, Wade did make quite a few trips to the free throw line.
96.
But, however, and averaged like 37 points in that finals. At no point did Dallas say, "Hey, let's double him, let's triple him." I mean, because who else was Shaq gonna do something? Shaq wasn't doing nothing. That was all D Wade, man. I mean,
Cal, if we even tried to tie his shoe and be nice, he was going to the line. It didn't matter. He'd have went to the line. He just shot 120 free throws.
I'm a huge NBA fan. There have been very few times where I can even utter something that somebody was Jordan-esque, but that was like as close to like a MJ run as I've ever seen in the playoffs. It was D-Wade was incredible.
He was incredible, but
he didn't just all shoot free throws, KG. Come on now.
96 free throws, though?
Did he really shoot 96 free throws?
The team shot 93. You can't tell me that's right.
KT, you sure about that? Do I need to look that up?
Yes, you can look at 96 free throws. 93. You can look at it.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, Kyle. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because he been emotional about that one for a while.
I can tell.
So I promise you, that's not the first time this conversation about that.
And it won't be the last.
Yeah. But you know what? His most emotional moment in sports, so 12 Kyle Nation can hear about this, is when he actually got a technical foul when he was coaching his middle school team. That's his most emotional moment.
Do we got time?
Plenty of time, man.
I'm a 12 Cal Nation. I want y'all to hear this. I'm coaching middle school basketball, 8th grade. My guy is on our end. He gets out. You can hear it. Everybody heard it. I let it go because it's middle school basketball. The refs are going to miss some calls. But we go to the other end. The same exact play happens, and we're at home, and they call a foul.
Mm-hmm.
So I just simply say to the ref, hey, if you're going to make that call down there, you got to make it down here. His response was, hey, coach, that was all ball. So my response was, hey, a ball don't sound like that. I got teed up for that. My first tech. Now, 12th Cal Nation, y'all tell me now, was that tech worthy? I already know the answer.
It wasn't, but I guess did you yell it or did you say it just as calm as you said it just then?
I said it just as calm as I did just then. Having a back and forth. All I had to do was say, hey, coach, that's enough. I would have been quiet. Mm-hmm. But don't talk to me and then I'll respond and you think, oh, I'm going to tee you up. That's the weakest tech ever.
Okay. Well, you know what, man?
Hey, Kyle, I think his wife is the only person to make Kevin make any other noises and go out of the tone than what he making right now. So,
you know what, man? I'm going to cut him some slack because at one point in time I was coaching my son's football team, my son Cameron, and I was one of the assistant coaches, and the ref, he missed a call, and the kid clearly was holding, and he just tackled our guy, and all I said was, you didn't see that, ref? And he didn't say anything. I said, can't be that stupid, and he threw a flag on me. That's
now that's different. You call this man stupid,
and you know what's funny? Our head coach was like, because the flag is one of those flags where the flag comes out of nowhere at the end of the play, and you're like, wait a minute, play stop. Where did the flag come from? And so the head coach was like, and I was like I said it and I walked away, and so the head coach was on the other end of the field, so he was like, ref, where does this flag come from? What's this flag about? He's like, I got your coach over there for talking to the other official. And I'm standing at the other end of the field, and the head coach is looking at me like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, what did I say? Because I didn't even see him throw the flag. But, I feel your pain. I didn't deserve that flag. But it was stupid.
More than I did calling the man stupid. I mean, to be real.
It was
stupid. They too soft. They too soft now. You can't even say the S word.
Oh, no doubt. Let's see. Devastating. Oh, that's easy. Just two for me. One was when I was with the Falcons, but I'm off that narcotic. When I was on that narcotic, man, the Falcons, they were in the Super Bowl, and I mean, you might have heard about it. They were beating the Patriots and
28-3, right?
28-3 in the third quarter. I mean, like, the probability of them finishing the game and winning was like 99.7%. Like, it's a deal. And I'll share with you guys something that I told my sons as we were watching that game. My boys were in the house jumping up and down. Falcons. Robert Alford had just picked off Tommy, a pick six, no less. And I told my sons, I said, this game is not over. And I went on Twitter, and everybody on Twitter, oh, the Falcons, da-da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. People happy. Falcons fans were going crazy. I said, this game is not over. And I wasn't in it because, you know, I thought something bad was going to happen. I just know the game ain't ever over until it's over. And it's the Falcons. Like, you knew that if there was anybody that could possibly blow it, it'd be the Falcons, right? So
Kyle, let me just say this real quick.
Go ahead.
When I knew that you guys were going to lose that game.
Not me, them. I'm off that narcotic.
You were still. I think it was third down, and I want to say Freeman was the running back, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was gashing for like 4.5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And on third down, you want to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And when the guy came around, stripped Ryan, that changed the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Falcons at that juncture that you're talking about. They had the ball. Julio Jones just made this ridiculous I never saw like that in very few games, let alone the Super Bowl. And the Falcons had it, and they got the ball on first down. I think they ran it. And then second down, they ran a pass play. And Matt Ryan got, and keep in mind, they're in field goal range. So even at the very least, if you kick a field goal, you're up, because New England at this point is on a run, and the Falcons are going straight lemon booty, right? So at that point, even if you kick a field goal, you're still up 10. It's like 2 minutes left. You're still going to win this game, right? And they call a pass play, and Ryan gets sacked, and then he gets sacked again, and they're out of field goal range. So, you know,
man. I'm remembering it all now.
Yeah, I blame Matt Ryan. I blame the offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan. I blame the head coach, Dan Quinn. And to be honest, and again, I'm narcotic, but the Falcons have not been nearly close. They were literally 3 minutes away from winning their first world championship. And they haven't been nowhere near close since then. And I mean,
well, I'm gonna say this. Mm-hmm. Kyle. And I don't know if y'all got any. If y'all families like mine, we had a couple of addictive personalities, and not easy to get off them narcotics, man. Hey, so you probably relapse. I just don't think it's easy to shake that like you talking about.
No, I got off that narcotic, man.
Remember, he's a Giants fan now.
Yeah, I grew up, and see, that's the thing. I grew up a Giants. I've always been a Giants fan, so I adopted the Falcons when I moved here. So it wasn't like I grew up, you know, rooting for Steve Bartkowski and those guys and Dion when he got here. I just I started supporting the team once I got here in '97. So I've seen bad football since then. I saw them go to the Super Bowl again, and you know, typical Falcons. You go to the Super Bowl, and the night before the Super Bowl, the reigning NFL Man of the Year gets arrested for head from a prostitute.
Hey,
Eugene Robinson.
Don't get more Falcon than that.
Eugene Robinson.
So I've seen the Falcons do a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, that was my number two. My number one is my Yankees losing to the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
Up 3-0 though.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, it's still painful. I hate looking at clips. I was so glad when Big Papi retired, because I hate Boston, but I can't hate Big Papi. But Big Papi killed us, you know. So it was just like, I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway, next question, KT. What's the most gratifying win team has experienced?
The most gratifying I'm gonna go with most gratifying.
Mm-hmm. And it could be college, bro, or
I know, man. I'm trying to think. Most gratifying.
I mean, the Cowboys. It's been a while
Yeah,
since
that's too easy though to win the Cowboys
it's been a while since they've had one. That was like when Tupac was still alive.
Like 24, 25 years ago. So I'm going to go with probably Florida winning the national championship when they had Chris Leak and Tim Tebow was like the running back / quarterback.
Did I know that you were a Florida fan and I'm a Florida State fan? Did I?
You knew that. We just been whooping out the past couple of years.
I'm starting to wonder why I got this guy on my podcast. he's a Cowboys fan. He's a Florida fan. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Hey, you gotta do a better job of vetting people.
I know, right?
Man. Pretty much. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that one, man. When they won that one with Tim Tebow, and then when Tebow was able to get one, being the man as well.
Oh yeah, that was huge. That was huge. What about you, BJones?
Man, I got a couple of them. And start off with I'm a big guy. When y'all get to see the show, I'm a big guy, and I used to play defensive line throughout my whole career. That's just kind of like my attitude. I always wanted to tackle people, and so I had inflated this admiration to a point where, if you ask somebody like who's the most iconic player during a certain time frame, it would have been none other than the Minister of Defense, Reggie Jackson. Reggie White, excuse me.
No, you good.
And anyway, watching Reggie White and that Green Bay Packer team beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, it was huge for me from a gratification perspective. And the other one is going to be Super Bowl-esque as well. The Washington Redskins and Doug Williams was the first African-American quarterback. Being able to watch that, it was huge in my household. The same grandfather that almost put something on me. He was a big-time Washington fan, and I love that. I love that so much. And then this one, and I told you two, but I got three, would be Dominique Dawes winning the gold medal in the Olympics. Because I guess maybe I just had a little crush on Dominique Dawes. I need to Google her nowadays.
She still have one.
But when she won that gold, that was dope for me, man.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. She was cold.
I do have another one, man.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind. Down in Taurasi, her freshman year in the national championship, she went 1 for 13. So she cost him that game. So that next year she came back, and I think we know what happened after that. She's pretty much one of the GOATs of women's basketball.
Oh, no doubt, man. She's definitely one of the greatest of all time. I mean, just to play at the level that she plays at, man, is just she's fun to watch. She was, and you know what, man, she was one of those type of people, like, you always saw something. You know what I'm saying? Even when she was in college. Even when she was in college, she was dope. So, and she did that and progressed when she made it to the WNBA. Let's see, most gratifying win. Oh, that's easy. For me, all of the Giants Super Bowls, play 86. That one was huge because I was there, because my uncle played on the Giants team. But probably the most gratifying was the Giants win February 5th, 2012, Super Bowl against no, that wasn't February. That was, I can't remember which one it was, but it was the one where the Patriots came in undefeated.
Yeah.
And they left with that L.
Yeah, I think that was around 2012, and that was a huge. I still to this day cannot forget David Tyree's the catch, man. That's crazy. Eli, I tell people, Eli got to the Hall of Fame off the back of two
no question
crazy games, man.
No question. I think Eli's playoff record is like 500. Like he other than those two Super Bowl runs, he was pretty much average. It was actually February 3rd, 2008. The Giants won 17-14 against the New England Patriots, who came into the game with Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. They came in undefeated. They were looking to have a winning, undefeated season. And, Eli Manning did it to him, man. So that's my
Well, I think giving Eli a little too much credit was that defensive line. Come on, y'all. Let's stop playing.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying Eli won him the game. I'm just saying that based off of those 2 game performances, that's what's going to get him to the Hall of Fame.
Right,
KT,
right.
I agree with you 100%. That defensive line with Humaniera and Justin Tuck,
Michael
Strahan, that defensive line was unreal, fam. But I'm just saying based off of performance, because honestly, I just don't remember like any heroic drives that Eli had during the regular season or any just all-world plays. Like from an iconic perspective, Eli was really just a little bit above average to me throughout his whole career. He got longevity on his side, and I don't know, maybe a Giants fan can on here and school a little bit, but he never stood out to me on fantasy football perspective as somebody I'm getting Eli early. You know what I mean? That's just you kind of watched him do his thing. He was slow and steady. He was but he didn't bring that wow factor until those 2 Super Bowls.
No doubt, no doubt.
Anybody that had Eli on their fantasy team at any point, I guarantee they came in last place.
Hey man. You know what it was that year? Eli, I think what it was, he got hot at the right time. He had a pretty average season. He didn't have, like, even in the playoffs, they had those wins, obviously, and they won on the road, but he played well and he played steady. And same in the Super Bowl. He didn't have, like, it wasn't like he threw for 400 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He played a slow and steady game. He made the throws. Even the second time when they beat the Patriots when they played them in Indianapolis, he makes that throw to Mario Manning. Eli could make that throw 100 times. He'll probably only complete that pass 1 time. He was in a zone, man.
But did he really get hot? Now, we want to talk about getting hot and leading their team to a Super Bowl. That was Joe Flacco.
Well, that's what he did. I think he performed like that. I'll go back and look at his stats.
He didn't perform like Joe. Joe was hot.
I have to go back and look at his stats. I just know that Eli, just from watching the Giants that year, his regular was decent. It wasn't great. And he just played better as a quarterback, played under more control. He didn't turn the ball over. It was just a different type of Eli at that particular time, man. And that was the thing that kind of propelled the Giants, to victory. Not like BJones said, he wasn't the sole reason why they won, but if he doesn't play as steady as he does, then that defense can't hold Tom Brady to 14 points.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Eli's career stats right now. His strongest season was 49 passing yards, which that's a pretty good one.
Yes.
But on average, he was between 3,300 to about 4,000. That was kind of on average, and that's going to be consistent with what a top 10, maybe top 10 quarterback. His most passing touchdowns in a year was 35, which that might have been a Pro Bowl year, but Eli only made 4 Pro Bowls, right? But he's made 4 Pro Bowls, but he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs. So put that in your crack pipe and smoke it. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality. Like I said, is Eli is going to make it to the Hall of Fame on the merits of 2 outstanding playoff runs. To your defense, Kevin, 2 outstanding playoff runs, but more or less 2 Super Bowl rings in which he played really good in those games.
No doubt, no doubt. I tell you what, man, this is a perfect time for a quick commercial break. We'll take a quick commercial break, and on the other side of the break, I'm going to hit these guys with some rapid-fire questions before we get out of here. Once again, you're listening to the 12 Podcast. I got BJones and KT from the Sports Life Talk podcast. We'll be back in just a second.
Yo, Mars Blackman here with my main man, Michael Jordan. Yo, Mike, what makes you the best player in the universe? Is it the vicious stumps?
No, Mars.
Is it the haircut?
No, Mars.
Is it the shoes?
No, Mars.
Is it the extra long shorts?
No, Mars.
It's the shoes, right?
Nah.
Is it the short socks?
No, Mars.
Money's gotta be the shoes. Shoes. You sure it's not the shoes?
I'm sure, Mars.
What about the shoes?
No, Mars.
Money's gotta be the shoes.
And just like that, we are back. Once again, it's your boy 12 Kyle. This is the 12 Kyle podcast, and we're talking sports. I got the brothers from Sports Life Talk in the building. BJones and my man KT.
Yeet.
And like I told you before the break, we are going to hit some rapid fire questions before we get out of here. So KT, I'll start first with you. We were talking in the first segment a little bit about, and so I can't remember which one of us mentioned it, the word GOAT. Greatest of all time. Now, I'm a believer that I think the acronym GOAT should be retired because it's only meant for one person. And in my opinion, the GOAT of all GOATs is Muhammad Ali, but that's just me. But if we had to go to the NFL, who, in your opinion, is in the NFL?
Current NFL or just overall, just period?
Is called the greatest of all time, KT.
Ooh, who is the greatest of all time?
Yeah,
because
I'm not specifying by position. I'm saying the greatest
he's the
football.
most accomplished quarterback.
Nope. We're not KT. We're not moving the goalposts. The greatest football player of all time in the NFL.
You're messing up my train of thought. I'm trying to buy. You know who I'm gonna go with?
You better not. You better not. I promise you.
I think we're gonna have the same one on this one. I don't want to go receiver. I'm gonna go. Golly, and I think I'm reaching here when I'm going with this one too. But he's the greatest to ever do it at cornerback. He can play receiver. He can return the ball. He can do it all.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Deion Sanders.
Okay. Coach Prime. Okay, I see you.
That's just me grasping that straw. I want to, draw this thing out. So I'm gonna go Deion. I could easily go Jerry Rice too. I'm gonna go Deion.
Why would you even say Jerry name, man?
Jerry Rice.
Yeah. I'm going Jerry Rice, man. I'm not even gonna let you tee me up on that one. He already kind of stole my thunder. Jerry Rice played, I think it was 16 years. We actually highlighted Jerry Rice. It was episode 80, and we gave Jerry Rice a lot of love. And just watching Jerry Rice on the field, he comes from an HBCU. The guy played for like 16 seasons. I mean, he won 3 Super Bowls. So Jerry Rice on pure athletic ability. There was nobody covered Jerry Rice at his time, and I think that if you put Jerry Rice in the league right now, he would duplicate it and give y'all the business. But Mississippi Valley State, y'all stand up because y'all own that brother. Y'all got the rights to Jerry Rice. No doubt,
and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Jerry Rice, in my opinion, and I'm not just saying this just because receiver, but yeah, I think Jerry Rice is the greatest football player of all time in the NFL.
Okay, can I say one thing? I know we rapid fire, but if now this is where the tables. I'm moving the goal in here. You said we're not doing that, but if since Kevin moved the goalpost in the first part of it, I will say this: if we would have doubled the span of one surnamed Mr. Sanders, he would have, in my opinion, been the GOAT, and also a Bo Jackson as well. Both of them boys. They ended too soon, and they both would have had careers that probably would have been arguably the GOATs. And then, and since I'm a football guy, and I know it's probably somebody driving and they now pulling their hair out, you got to throw Jim Brown name in the conversation.
Okay. You get no argument from me on any of those. BJones, NBA.
Let's go.
Who's the GOAT in the NBA?
So yeah, I'm gonna say what you want me to say. I'm gonna give it to y'all. I'm gonna say Michael Jordan, and this is why. I don't think Michael Jordan is the best athlete that ever played in the NBA. I don't think Michael Jordan is the most winningest player in the NBA. He probably close to it. But when I watched Michael Jordan, the what Michael Jordan did for the NBA, from shoes and fashion to cartoons to movies and food, McDonald's, I mean Gatorade, I mean just media in general. We're talking about even in the movies with Space Jam. Michael Jordan, in my opinion, is the GOAT of all GOATs. I know you gave it to Muhammad Ali, but Michael Jordan to me is the GOAT of all GOATs because of what he did. And this is what's crazy. I have to admit this, and only 12 Nation fans gonna hear this. I wasn't even a Michael Jordan fan. I had to look back over his career. I was a Detroit Bad Boy fan, and I held grudges for years.
As you should.
over the way that Detroit got put out them playoffs. playoffs, man, and they took over the Pistons, the Pistons reign. But Mike, there's no comparison. I mean, if you could see my office right now where I record, I got 25 pair of Jordans in the background. I mean, this dude, there's just nobody who is colder. Michael Jordan, iconic moments, his iconic persona, even the fact that Mike sat out for 2 seasons and played for the Birmingham Barons, and then came back to the NBA. That's just, I don't know. It's Mike for me, man.
KT, what about you?
I really hate to agree with my brother, but I want to go LeBron. But just let's put this in perspective. Kobe and LeBron, they're greats, right? We can consider those guys GOATs.
Mm-hmm.
Who did they want to be? Who did they want to be?
Like Mike.
They were
like Mike.
Michael Jordan. LeBron, his game is different. There's more magic. He'll score more than number 23. Why? Because of MJ. Now, like BJones said, he's not the most athletic, but the dude is a straight up killer. This dude got, let me ask y'all this. When the last time you had a stomach virus and you went out there and tried to drive it on somebody?
Hey, it wasn't a stomach virus. He was drunk. He was hungover.
It was food poisoning.
Food poisoning by Mad Dog 2020.
Hey, when the last time you had some Mad Dog 2020?
February the 32nd. That's the last time I had it.
That Suncrest peach, you know.
But yeah, that only adds to his legend, man. I'm a complete the trifecta, man. For me, it's Michael Jordan, man. I mean, he is. I think LeBron, honestly, when LeBron's career, I think he will have almost every major statistical category. And LeBron might be the best all-around player that I've ever seen. He might be, I take that back. He's probably the greatest all-around player that I've ever seen in my life.
Agreed.
But he's not, to me, he's not the GOAT. It's LeBron. It's Jordan.
That's right. And let me tell you one thing that I hold against LeBron, and this is not fair. So LeBron fans, please put the gun down, put the razor blades down, right? But it's the fact that LeBron has lost so many times in the finals for me. And I know what he did getting Cleveland there to play against San Antonio was nothing short of heroic. But losing to the Dallas Mavericks when he had that he put together, that counts to me. Yeah. That stuff like that counts. Letting the Warriors shoot them out the gym, and I know he lost Kyrie, but that counts to me.
Come on now,
stuff like that. I know,
you
Kevin.
know the LeBron
I know
fans ain't gonna hear that, man. They're not gonna have
that.
I can't get away with that.
But this the thing, though, Kevin. You get away with it, but we never had to worry about if Michael Jordan was gonna lose in the finals because he didn't, sir. 6-0.
Never made it to Game 7.
In LeBron's defense, when he had to go against a Steph, a Clay, a KD, now he's gonna have to KD.
Mike would have beat them all.
Well, see, this is why we can't have this debate because, and I get it. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand both sides, but I think everybody's going to bump for their guy because every time they say something, well, Jordan had this, Jordan had that, and LeBron didn't have this. It's going to be, like I've heard LeBron's fans say, well, oh, man, well, they had to go get KD. They had to go get Steph. I mean, he's going up against 4 Hall of Famers. And I'm like, you can't help when you were born. So, jump in a time machine and get the 96 Bulls to play against, LeBron's Cavs team that won that year. Different story, but we can't. So,
but Kyle, the funny thing is, this is the first time that BJones really just said that Michael Jordan was the GOAT.
Oh wow! Breaking news right here on the 12 Kyle podcast.
Because we both love LeBron's game, but
I love watching.
We got to give man credit. We got to give.
We give props. I give props. Yeah, I love watching it, and I don't think that he's done. I mean, it's really amazing that LeBron has been the physical specimen and injury free, really, the way that he's been his entire career, man. Because that's unheard of. It's I think people will, as appreciated as he is now, I think we'll appreciate him even more once he steps away from the game because he's done so many great things, and I always make the case about LeBron that LeBron ultimately will have a bigger impact off the court than he does on the court. And that says a lot. Did a lot of shit on the court.
And ultimately, Kyle, I think that is what's going to move the needle eventually. It's going to take time to heal all wounds, right? I think we're gonna have to watch LeBron take a step back from his career, and then we'll be able to sit down and digest it. Now that we don't have the same emotional investment tied to the wins and losses, but I also think that LeBron has the opportunity to do something that I think Mike missed on, and I'll never give Mike the edification or the glory for the fact of how he behaved off the court.
Right.
And Mike with the gambling problems and being tied into so much negativity. And even I think there's opportunities that Mike could have came out and done something African American community over these struggles we've had over the last decade or so. And although, you would get an article every once in a while about Mike donating this or Mike doing that, but look at what LeBron is doing. LeBron was willing to shut down the damn NBA in the bubble. You get what I'm saying? He was like, hey, I don't care whether we play or not. If we don't have something in the NBA going to come out and say something, and we're going to shut the NBA down for a game or two because of the way black people are getting treated. And I think when you look at LeBron's school and his history and his investments and how I think he's going to do more for people of color than what Mike did. And I think both of them had the equal opportunity. So in that perspective, then we are going to see LeBron take over and be a little bit more of an iconic figure, equivalent to your guy Muhammad Ali taking, you know what I'm saying, giving up his career.
And to your point, just to put a bow on it, as far as Jordan is concerned, it was a different era, and that's why I never really compared it to, because it was a different era. Nobody asked Mike to do that, and it required of him to be vocal or anything because I mean, let me be honest. In 1984, nobody cared who Magic voted for. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared. And to be honest, I don't know who Magic voted for because you didn't want to know what your athletes did. You had, but so much to them. You didn't have, that's why The Last Dance was as epic as it was, because you got a chance to peek in. And what I was trying to explain to people who didn't live through that time, we weren't privy to seeing any of Jordan's life out of what we saw in the basketball court.
Very true.
Wherein LeBron lives in an era where he shares his life, his social media. I mean, hell, his little daughter got an Instagram account, and so as big a fan as I am of both, and I think that, like I said, they both are GOATs. I still say Jordan is the GOAT, but I will say this, the thing that LeBron has done is that, I don't know, even given all the indiscretions that Jordan had, if he would have been able to survive in the social media, because Mike had a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, from abortions to side chicks to all kinds. Mike, he got a lot of dirt. And the thing was that the media, a lot of times they would see Mike doing dirt and they looked the other way. They wouldn't report it because you wanted to be on his good side. You didn't ever want to be on his bad side. So, they would never report that stuff. So, I mean, like if LeBron goes to the strip club tonight, somebody's going to see him. You know what I'm saying? And somebody's going to report. And I don't think that we give LeBron enough credit for being the stand-up
his
guy.
Behavior. Yep.
Yeah, his behavior. He don't smoke. He drinks, but he don't. He ain't got side kids. He ain't gang affiliated. He's about as clean cut as you can be.
He annoying as hell with that Taco Tuesday crap though.
But he's I'll say this: LeBron strikes me as the kind of guy that I would want to hang out with. I wouldn't want to hang out with Jordan. Jordan's an asshole.
Exactly.
He's just that competitive that, you ever had that friend that's just annoying as that? Like Jordan seems like that type of guy off the court. Yeah, I would want to play with him, but I don't think I would want to just hang out. LeBron strikes me as the kind of beer with. Two more questions before we get out of here. KT, speaking of basketball, I'm going to give you a scenario. You're down by 1 with 8 seconds left. Who do you want to take the last shot? You can pick anybody that you've seen in your lifetime. So now you can't say Bob Cousy because you weren't around with Bob, but anybody in the NBA that you've seen in your lifetime. Down 8 seconds. You're down by 1 with 8 seconds left. Who that you've seen in your lifetime would you want to take the final shot?
Ray Allen.
Okay.
And they go to the Miami Heat. This dude got the ball, didn't even look down. Got to the 3-point line, shot that thing, saved the Miami Heat season. I'm going Ray Allen.
Okay. BJones.
Man, this is gonna be a crazy whacked out answer. I'm gonna give it's 2 parts. So my mind is telling me Reggie Miller. I don't know. It was something about Reggie Miller, Jay. It was just silk, and I think honestly, Reggie Miller was probably one of the most underrated 3-point shooters in the game. I think we talk about Steph Curry and all these other cats, but if the game, like when we talk about era versatility, Reggie can play in this game and will ass all day long from 3-point. But this is my answer. And please, 12 now, Kyle Nation, don't kill me. But I got to go with big shot Rob Horry, man. Hey, Bob gonna make it. It's going in.
Mute his mic, Cal. He's doing too much.
You know, no. You know what?
Man.
He has a point. Because I know if he's open.
If he open, that thing going in. Yeah, I don't know how he do it.
Right.
If it's just a normal day and say March and it's regular season, I don't want Bob, Robert Horry shooting that shot. But if it's in the playoffs,
right,
and if it's a game on the line of any type of significance, y'all find a way to tip that thing over there to Horry because that's money in the bank.
Right, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be the guy that's going to stand at the top of the key and cross you up and hit a fadeaway shot off 1 foot. No, that's not him. But no, I feel you, BJones. You get no argument from me. I'm gonna go with Jordan on this, but I'll say this: if it was, and the reason why I say this is because 8 seconds gives you time to square up, take a guy off the dribble, whatever the case may be. Jordan or Kobe could do that.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked Kevin didn't say Kobe. What happened there, Kevin?
If 4 seconds and you don't have as much time, I'm going Reggie. I'm with you, BJones. I'm going Reggie because Jordan, I don't think was the guy to get off the quick shot. Jordan, his shot and the way that he angles his body and squares his body up to the basket, it takes time for him to do that. So I think he would need more time to get that shot off. But 4 seconds, man, Reggie hit a shot. He hit a 3 falling off one leg, falling out of bounds. Reggie was clutch, man. So for this scenario, since I said 8 seconds, I'm going to go with Jordan, but I feel you on the Reggie call.
But Kev,
I just dismiss me, huh?
No, but Kev, how did you pick Ray over Kobe, man? You love Kobe. Tell me what happened.
I'm a little surprised he didn't pick Kobe too.
Did you get nervous because we on 12 Nation podcast, man?
No. Who has a better jumper, Ray Allen or Kobe?
Ray got a better jumper, but we talking about 8 seconds.
Now look, but Kobe gonna have to dribble. Ray Allen's gonna come out green, and if you don't get him, cash.
But here's the thing, though, KT. We said 8 seconds. So with that, Kobe doesn't necessarily have to shoot a J. He can take you to the cup.
Okay, so how about this? I'll change it and go Larry Bird. Would y'all be happy if I did that? 8 seconds.
Take me fresh,
man. Bird's one of the coldest I've ever seen, man.
Bird. Since I'm getting double teamed, I should have brought somebody else in.
We're not here to bully you. We're not trying to make you change your answer.
Get double teamed. I see how it is. I got y'all. I still love y'all.
All right, man. Last question before we get out of here. Scenario, BJones. You're down by 5. We're talking football here. Down by 5. One time. 1 minute 20. A minute 20 left on the clock. And you got to go 80 yards. Who do you want to be your quarterback?
Man, that's a cold-blooded question, man. God,
thank you. I'm going to say it again. You're down 5, 1 timeout, minute 20 left. You got to go 80 yards. Who do you want to be your quarterback?
You put me in a corner, and it's not fair. And is going to hold this against me for a long time. And I am not a fan by any means necessary, but I am going to say Peyton Manning. I will give him the credit. No, man. Captain America, man.
Oh, my God. Captain America, Brady. I can hear the pain in your voice, BJones.
I know, bro. I know. It's hard for me to even spew these nasty, hideous words coming out my mouth. But now Tom Brady is just a wonder, dog. And that's money in the bank, giving that dude that much time. And I just he could. It's something about that leadership. I knock leadership because I don't think we should talk about leadership when we have GOAT conversations. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's relevant. I think leaders can lead in different ways, as Coach KT showed me in his illustrious media career. Mm-hmm. But this is the deal. When that time is running off that clock, and when Tom Brady gets to that huddle and he gets on that knee, them boys gonna be focused. They're gonna be locked in. And when Tom Brady said, "Hey guys, calm down. We got this. We finna win this game." Every lead that huddle believing that those words, and they going to win that game.
Facts. What about you, KT? Again, down 5, one timeout. You got 80 yards to go. Minute. Who's your quarterback?
Now listen, it's Tom Brady, but to be different from BJones, because I don't want to sound too much like him, I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes right now.
Okay.
We did in the Super Bowl with a broken line. This dude is diving and throwing dimes. So you give him that, a timeout and 80 yards, the answer is Tom Brady, just hands down. But to make it different, I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
And I don't know how old, so I'll give them these two just in case that we got an older crowd on here that's probably cringing. Just Joe Montana could have easily been that guy too. Joe Montana could have been that dude, and as well as a John Elway. So either one of them boys could have been in this conversation as well. But Tom Brady obviously biased. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it time and time again, and he's fresh off the mental celebrating number 7. So I'm gonna go Captain America.
Wrong. That is the correct answer. It is Tom Brady, hands down. But that's a little variety. I had to put Mahomes, but it's Brady.
Nah, for me, it's not Brady. It's not Mahomes. It's not John Elway. This is easy for me. It is Dan Marino.
Ooh, I like Thunder Dan.
Dan Marino was the coldest quarterback, in my opinion, in that type of situation, coldest quarterback you ever want to see, because he was going to shred you up. And here's the thing. You got a minute 20 left. He's probably going to score with like 3 seconds left on it. So he ain't going to leave you no time. Ain't going to be no chance to kick or get an onside kick, anything like that. Dan Marino, he did not win a Super Bowl, but I think in my opinion, when you talk about quarterbacks and being in scenarios like that, he was the best that I've ever seen do it. He was cold, and he didn't have the ring, doesn't have the same cachet as Brady does, but one of the baddest quarterbacks from that, definitely one of the best from that class of '84 heralded quarterbacks.
I tell you what, man, to piggyback off of what you're saying, if Dan Marino had just got one, especially if Dan Marino could have won 2 rings, I think Dan Marino would be not only in one of the I think he would easily be in the discussion for the top 5, if not top 3 quarterbacks that ever played the game.
I think so too.
People have seen Drew Brees come out there and throw for 5,000 yards. And he's done it like a couple of times, but Dan Marino was doing it every year. Yes. And this is the thing. He literally had sucky teams all around him.
Never had a running back. I think he only had, and I have to look it up, but I think he had a running back rush for 1,000 yards once in his career. Like he never had no type of running back. So it was just.
Yeah, but he didn't want a running back, so that was on him.
Well, he didn't make the personnel decisions. I think the thing was the Dolphins just knew that every Sunday Marino was good for 350 and 3 touchdowns. That was automatic.
He didn't want a running back. He wanted to just drop back and just throw it.
Come on, man. It's 84. He ain't had a chance to tell the team what he wanted to do. Oh, man. This has been great, man. Before you guys get out of here, KT, tell us where we can hear you guys and where they can follow you guys and check you guys out on social media and the whole 9.
Yeah, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's just at Sports Life Talk. We're everywhere. So if you type our name in the podcast platform, you're gonna find us, Sports Life Talk. Make sure you go to our YouTube page. Please subscribe. Check us out Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Central. You can stream us live on Facebook. But if you want to interact with us and be really a part of the show, join us on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a fun time. We got a couple of more co-hosts, Serge, KD, Miss Manhattan, and then Gemini Jones. I mean, it's truly a blast, and it's a roller coaster. And I guarantee you, I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss you off. So come on, bring your ass. Let's go.
That is old school right there. Bring your ass. Hey man, well fellas, I definitely appreciate you guys coming on. And look forward to doing it. We definitely got to do this again and talk more sports. All of you listening, you know where you can find me. You've been listening this long. I think you know where to find me. The 12 Kyle podcast can be found on every podcasting stream where you can find where podcasts are free. The podcast drops every Thursday at midnight. But you subscribe to this podcast because we will be dropping bonus episodes on Sundays as well. So that's going to do it for us. So for KT and BJones, I'm your man 12 Kyle. We will catch
Kyle,
you next. What's up?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get a fans this. If you was listening to the first segment, UMBC was the name of the team that beat Virginia in the playoffs. University of Maryland, Baltimore
County. Yep.
Baltimore County. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No,
I just wanted to get a fans that.
It's all good. And that's going to do it for us. Again, thanks again for checking out this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm your boy 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next time. 5G.